gentlemen, after careful consideration, I think the best course of action is to treat this like a stage play, where we will be the stagehands making the talentless jackasses on stage look good.
Still bitter about not getting cast in Opinion-Ville Repertory Theater's production of Annie 2 years ago, Jason?
No, but the role of Daddy Warbucks should have been mine.
Oh, well, I thought Cleghorn was quite passable as the good-natured war profiteer.
Daddy Warbucks was bald, and I am bald. Cleghorn has green hair all over his body.
Can we focus on the whole saving the timeline thing?
Right. Anyways, in this production, I will be the director. Dunderhead, you will be the stage manager. AJ, lights. And Gary, sound.
You really need to explain your metaphor, dude. What sound? I am an agent of science, sir. I know not of the finer points of the stage. What does a stage manager do?
Look, we're going to try to ensure that Fundy Monster is crucified, entombed, and then resurrected, all without any real harm coming to him. To do that, we each have to do a specific job. Dunderhead, your job is to monitor the chronoton alarms to make sure that we aren't changing the timeline.
And stage managers do that a lot, do they?
No, it was never mind. Just do the second thing I said. Gary, there are going to be a couple of times where you may need to use the ship's external speakers to generate sound effects. I input the cues into your console. The same goes for you, AJ, except instead of lighting cues, you will have weather cues.
I get to control the weather? Only localized to the area around Golgotha. I have modified the ship's sensors to emit a combination of holograms and light effects if we wish. But thunder? Lightning?
Yes.
Big ominous clouds?
Yes.
Earthquakes?
Professor?
I have modified the deep space resonance emitter to produce a low-wave, tight-focus beam that will give the illusion of a minor seismic event.
Maybe little ones.
So what you're really saying is that in the crucifixion story, we're God.
No, we're just gonna ensure that Fundy does what he needs to do to become known as the Savior.
Which is what God does.
Yeah, but we're doing it to save the future.
Again, like God did.
Yeah, but we're assholes.
And the Judeo-Christian God is not.
Fine, we're God, okay? Jeez, I thought it was bad enough that I'm the historical basis of Judas. Now I gotta be God too? Alright, let's just do this thing. Remember, the instant Fundy steps out of that tomb, we gotta transport him out of there and get back to the real reason why we're here, Reverend Pone.
Oh yeah, is his ship still powering up for another time jump? Indeed, but thanks to my ingenious efforts, I am slowing his ship's ability to do so quickly.
Good. Okay, let's move the ship into the upper atmosphere.
Do you think Pone knows? About what? You know, about the real Jesus. About the fact that the Jesus myth is based on a lot of bad history, con artists, and, well, Fundy Monster.
I don't know, but it warms my heart to think that he does.
Now you listen here, you lily-white son of a whore. You give me the control keys to the weapon systems or I'll rip your cute little tail off and shove it in your hinder hole.
Right, I'm going to ignore the comment about me tail being cute, Sunshine. You know I can't let you have access to the weapon systems.
But I hired you for your thirst for destruction, ding-dang-it. Don't you want to see that town over there get vaporized?
More than anything, mate. But you know as well as I do, if we destroy that there town, there will be no Christianity. And with no Christianity, there ain't no Reverend Pone. And then there ain't no time-traveling ark.
But I can't let that purple homo monster become the Jesus Christ. I can't. Sure, I blew up his church and tried for years to suppress his rights. But that don't make it right for him to become the Lamb of God.
I know you're disappointed, beautiful, but let's concentrate on Plan B.
But Plan B ain't nearly as good as Plan A.
No, but it's a damn sight better than returning back to our time empty-handed.
True. You know what? Maybe God is just testing my faith once again. He's seeing if I'm worthy. We'll go ahead with Plan B. And if that don't work, we'll go to Plan Alpha.
We already tried Plan A, mate.
Not Plan A. Plan Alpha. As in Alpha and Omega.
Now there's the man Reverend I know.
Perfect. Now all we gotta do is wait for the star of the show to make his entrance.
He's using theater terms again. Just go with it.
Scanners have located him, and he is approaching Golgotha. Are you sure he can't feel anything?
Positive. I have triggered his implant to cause his glands to work overtime. He could eat salted glass right now and think he's eating cornflakes.
On the screen.
Huh. Man, that's heavy. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm gonna go save all your rotten stinking souls, you bunch of ingrates. Hey, Roman guy, you know that there are lighter woods? You couldn't make this cross thing out of, like, balsa wood?
Well, he may be Christ, but he's still fundy.
Well, I'm gonna take a quick break. Anybody got a breath mint or, like, some water or something? Hey, you're real hunky. What's your name? Well, Abraham. You really fill out that loincloth pretty good there, Abraham. What you doing after this whole crucifixion thing?
Is Jesus creepily comes on to bystander one of the stations of the cross?
If it's not, it should be.
Hey, Abraham, check out my muscles while I lift this cross up. I'm totally ripped. I know you're gonna like what you see.
Well, I suppose that could be the basis of the third station of the cross. How many are there?
I don't know, 12, 13?
If I remember from catechism, it's 14.
You were raised Catholic?
Yup, I was baptized and everything. The nuns at Sister Hysteria's school for degenerate Catholic boys used to call me Little Blue Satan.
Because you were naughty?
Because I was a goat.
Wait, you went to catechism and Catholic school, but you didn't recognize the name Mary Magdalene when you met her?
Well, I wasn't expecting Mary Magdalene to have a beard and a 10-inch cock.
How do you know our new friend has a 10-inch... Oh, never mind. I asked you to at least wait until we had restored the timeline.
And I told you I would try. And I failed. Like, a lot. Like, at least 15 times.
Oh, man. Hey, buddy, how much further till Golgotha? Oh, only about 2 blocks that away. Thanks. I'm Simon of Cyrene. Who cares?
Gary?
5th station. Do you think all of history is this screwed up inaccurate? It's not inaccurate!
I think we see evidence to the contrary right there. Bootstrap Jesus, a la Fundy Monster.
What I mean is that most of Earth's history has been fabricated by the secret monks of the Sacred Cabbage of Glen Fry! That conspiracy theory was especially insane, AJ. I know, it's been a while.
But seriously, guys, is it possible that everything in the historical record is this badly foobarred?
Well, one would have to expect that the historical record is full of inaccuracies written by individuals with personal biases.
Sure, but I mean like real screwed up. Like Napoleon was actually a plucked chicken with a comb over. Stuff like that.
Well, hopefully it isn't that bad, but considering just how dumb, bigoted, and lazy we are, yeah, it's probably real inaccurate. You think 200 years from 2016 that future people will get our history wrong? No way, we have video and audio and the internet now to document all that stuff.
Never underestimate our society's ability to fuck history sideways. Yeah, just because we have new gadgets to document our lives doesn't mean that societal bias won't taint history.
Well, I just don't see it happening.
Here, let me throw you an example. What do you think of when I say 1967?
Oh, easy. The summer of love. Hippies, drugs, casual sex.
AJ?
The first meeting between the Illuminati and the Walt Disney Corporation takes place in a hollowed-out volcano on the sunken island of Atlantis.
What did I ask? Professor?
Oh, let's see. 1967. Electroweak theory is introduced. Pulsars are discovered. Foundations of Constructive Analysis is published.
Okay, so here's what I know. First appearance of Batgirl in Detective Comics, Lord of Light was published, and of course, Star Trek.
Ooh, what big thing happened with Star Trek?
Nothing, just Star Trek. The point is, no matter who you ask, people will associate a particular year based on what they think they know about it. And depending on the historical event or era, the most commonly known things about it are what's remembered. I think most people probably couldn't give a particular example of something that happened in 1967, but they'd say something like, hippies, the Beatles, and the Vietnam War.
But those things happened.
Kinda, but they weren't the only things that happened. Eventually, the actual history is crowded out by the popular idea of what happened. Some weird nebulous melange of 60s era crap. It doesn't matter how much video or audio we have.
Not to mention people who choose to ignore the video and audio evidence.
Like moon landing hoaxers or flat earthers.
Exactly!
Not to mention pop culture. I think most people base their idea of what happened in the 60s based on movies and TV fiction about the time period rather than historical essays or documentaries. I know I do.
And me.
Me too. Well, not I. I was just a mere slip of a boy, but I remember the moon landing like it was yesterday. You know what I love? The mighty Isis. She was my first crush.
You're insane! The true hottie with the naughty was Electra Woman!
I was always partial to Jabberjaw. Do none of you appreciate the lithe feminine grace that was theoretical physicist, research professor, and professor of physics emeritus in the Department of Physics and Astronomy, UCLA, Nina Byers? Could she fly and have super strength? Only in the dirtiest of my dreams.
Oh, hey guys, look.
Hey, you bunch of jerks, why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer.
When did that happen? Your nostalgia-laden idiot blather distracted us from the task at hand.
You were blathering along with the rest of us.
To my eternal shame, I will now send the signal to Funny Monster's implant to have his body enter a death-like state.
Okay, well, as much fun as this has been, I think it's time for me to go home to Daddy. Later, assholes. Blah.
Who cued that storm? AJ?
It was for dramatic effect.
Sensors indicate there was also an earthquake in the temple.
That one was just for fun. Where is he now?
They've just rolled the rock in front of the tomb.
Who are those ladies that took him down and washed him?
Well, data suggests that they were members of the Women's League of... Oh dear. What is it? Well, based on their signage and on the sign outside their meeting place, the computer translates their name from Aramaic as the Women's League of Nephrophilic Enthusiasts.
Necrophilic? You mean they like having sex with dead bodies?
Yeah, I was wondering why they were rolling the rock into place in front of the tomb with them inside it.
So, Fundy is trapped in a tomb with 3 necrophiliacs?
Indeed, for at least 3 days. Should we do something? I mean, I know they think he's a dead body and he's not aware of what's going on, but they're kind of violating him. What should I do, revive him? Teleport the ladies away? We are trying to preserve the timeline here.
Yeah, but the timeline is super icky.
Can we, I don't know, maybe wake him up early?
Or film it.
Gary. Well, let me see what happens if I attempt to wake him. Nope, I'm afraid it's a no-go. This is a whole lot of not cool, dunderhead. I said we needed to preserve the timeline. I never said it was going to be pleasant. Well, it appears that the Women's League of Necrophilic Enthusiasts have left the tomb. So can we wake him up now? Indeed, I just sent the signal now. Then we will transport him back to the ship, we'll fix his implant, and he will be back to normal.
Great. Will he remember much?
Doubtful. At best, the last few days will be a hazy miasma of images and feelings, but nothing tangible.
So, do we tell him?
Tell him what?
Everything! That he's the basis for the Christ myth! Who Jesus really is! And the necrophiliacs!
Well, of course we tell him, and by we, I mean me. I get to tell him.
But should we really? I mean, I know he's a pious jerk, but he is our friend. The news could crush him emotionally and spiritually.
But but all the arguments we've had over the years. I could finally win.
Sure, but not the way you want it.
I'll take what I can get.
You wanted to win your argument about the existence of God and Jesus by using evidence and reason, not by pushing necrophiliacs and gender-fluid failed magicians in his face.
Well, what if I eased him into it? I could be all like, your eyebrows look great today, Fundy, and then, oh, and that guy you've been praying to? Turns out, he's you.
I think for now we should be a little compassionate.
Compassion isn't nearly as much fun.
We've got enough on our plate without an additional heaping serving of depressed Fundy monster.
I would like to point out that as captain, you are to safeguard the well-being of the crew. That means physically and emotionally, and yes, by crew that includes Fundy Monster. Fine, but when this is all over, me and him are gonna have a nice long talk. What about me? What are you gonna tell him about me?
Oh, well, we'll tell him that you're my new gender-fluid romantic partner.
Who switches between the names Jesus and Mary. Well, I've been thinking about that. I think I'll take a nice neutral name that balances both my feminine and masculine sides. Carpenter.
He has exited the tomb. Keep it down, will you? Some of us have a real bad hangover.
I am checking for witnesses. Confirmed. The Women's League of Necrophilic Enthusiasts are washing off in a nearby animal water trough and have noticed him. Well, it's now or never. Transport him up.
Look, ladies, I'm telling you, if I was dead, then I got over it. I mean, look at me. I have risen and stuff.
I will go to the quantum bubble generator and retrieve him to administer treatment. Got it. I don't know what we should do.
Pone.
Oh, yeah. AJ, locate Pone's ship and set a course to intercept it before he can leave.
Aye, Captain.
If I can't ruin Fundy's day, at least I can ruin Reverend Pone's.
You might want to put the whole ruining his day thing on hold.
Why?
Pone's ship? It's gone.
Hey everybody, it's me, Oswald. Hey Jason, what's wrong? I have the flu, I don't feel good. Oh no. You mean you got the sniffles and the fevers and the coughing and the aching and the stuffy head and the chicken pox and the bumps on your tongue and the green vomit and all that stuff? Sure. When are you gonna feel better? I don't know. I know something that'll make you feel good. What? I'll do the shouty powers. Great. Okay, everybody, I want you to go listen to this podcast called Cine-tific, and it's a science podcast about the science of movies, and it's real good. And then I want you to go listen to this podcast, which is Lemme Finish with Atticus and Jason, in which they talk about poops. And I want you to listen to this podcast, which is called Late Seating, which is about two old men who complain about movies. And then I want you to listen to this podcast, which is called Filmtastic Voyage, in which two nerdy dudes talk about movies again. So go listen to them, they're super great, and it'll make Jason feel a whole lot better, won't it? Yeah, and you know what else? You did that really great this time. I know, because I care about you. Thank you. And I feel really bad about licking the keyboard 2 weeks ago when I had the cold. What? Well, I mean, I was sick, and I was bored, and there was your keyboard, and I was like, I'm gonna lick that keyboard. That's how I got sick. That's how it happens? Dirty keyboards? No, I mean, you had the flu and then you licked my keyboard and then I typed the keyboard and then I touched my face and then I got the flu. No, I don't think that's possible. Anyways, you want to know what your keyboard tasted like?